we'll just get started, and
Yeah,
so others join in. That would be fine.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining. We're excited here to kind of spend some time this Saturday morning and talk a little bit about local food and why we think it's important. For those of you both listening live here and then also seeing this as a recording. So my name's Jacob and Jason. We are the founders of Urbivors, or local food delivery service. And yeah, we just wanted to take some time this morning, again, to talk mostly about the importance of local food, but also what we're doing, and then take any questions you guys may have, and that some others have submitted before this, and answer some of those. So I guess just kind of a brief background on us. We've known each other a few years now. We started our business officially last year, and we're excited to kind of, once the pandemic here has passed, to really get going on year 2. So I'll let Jason introduce himself, and then we'll kind of dive into it.
Yeah, as Jacob said, my name's Jason. I graduated from the University of Toledo, just like Jacob. We're both engineers, and basically, I've been always interested in sustainability, and met Jacob actually through sustainability groups at the University of Toledo. And originally, I was interested in energy, but meeting with Jacob and being part of those groups got me really interested in food and food sustainability and local food specifically. So it was that interest and meeting up with a like-minded individual and bright guy like Jacob that sparked Urbivors. So we're excited to talk to you guys today about, like Jacob said, the importance of local food, especially right now, and how we can help support a robust local food system in our communities, and what impact that has on us socially, economically, and the greater community as well. So there's really a big impact you can make in your community when it comes to local food, and we just want to kind of have a nice conversation about that and bring some different things to everyone's attention that they might not be in the forefront right now, given everything that's going on. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess just a little bit, how I got into this space was I grew up helping with gardens and that, but then really got involved in college at the University of Toledo, joined a group that was working on food insecurity and assuring that preventing food waste. So I had the opportunity there to kind of see the food systems from a variety of angles, kind of working with preventing food waste, feeding the hungry, and then working with local organizations, everything from farms to homeless shelters to restaurants, and kind of got a nice kind of total view of the food system. So that's kind of what led some of my interest, and why we're talking about this today. So yeah, I think that's kind of, like I said, that's why I'm interested. So I think we'll turn it over to Jason here, and we'll kind of get into the meat and potatoes of it.
Perfect. Yeah. So one of the first benefits that we want to talk about local food is the economic benefit, and the economic benefit to the community. So when we're spending our money on local food with local farmers, or any locally produced good for that matter, it creates what's called a multiplier effect. When you spend money locally, it keeps that money in your community that can then be spent on other goods or services for that business that you spent your money on, to keep fulfilling other jobs and roles within your community. So it keeps that dollar in your community. Whereas if we purchase food from the supermarket, who may be getting their food from thousands of miles away, there's a lot of people along the supply chain, from the corporate farm to the wholesale distributor to the transportation logistics companies to the grocers themselves that may be owned by national corporation. Everybody's taking a slice of that dollar that you spent, and a lot less of that dollar stays in your community and creates a good local economy. So it's important to consider that fact when you're purchasing your food. You know, you want to keep the money flowing in your community, support your community, and have a robust economy. So one of the ways that we could easily do that is by supporting local farmers, because obviously food is a good that we all need and purchase very regularly. So if we keep those dollars local, that really supports not only our farmers, but the rest of the community as well, especially people and businesses supporting those farmers and just the food supply in general, restaurants, you know, variety of different things. So it's important to keep that in mind when we're making our food purchase choices. And on top of that, the local farmers, when we buy their local food, you know, they're retaining most of that dollar. Whereas if they sold to a wholesale distributor, they're getting less dollar for every pound of food that they're selling, rather than selling it by themselves or through local distributors. And so that empowers them to make more investments in their farm and grow better food for us. So, you know, higher quality food, incorporate different practices. So that's another good thing. When you spend your money locally, you're getting a higher quality product. And on top of that, when we support our local farmers, not only at the farmers market or buying the goods directly, if we support different restaurants in the community that have put an emphasis on sourcing their stuff locally, that also helps our local farmers and the business owners, restaurant owners in our community as well, and again, contributes to that multiplier effect. And I found a pretty interesting statistic that an economist evaluated the city of Detroit, and he determined that if the city of Detroit shifted only 20% of their food choices, their food purchases from wholesale, national sources to local sources, that it would generate, again with that multiplier effect, nearly $500 million in increased revenue flow or cash flow within the city's economy. And on top of that, 4,000 new jobs related to the service of getting those local goods to people, growing those local goods. So it's really astonishing the effect that it can have when we spend money locally. And especially right now, I know, you know, it's tough to discuss the virus crisis going on right now, but our local farmers need our support more than ever right now, because with all the restaurants closing, that's a large outlet for farmers. Is a lot of their demand comes from local restaurants. When those local restaurants are closed down or are forced to limit their capacity, the number of customers that can come into it, that demand for the farmers goes way down, but they still have the same operating costs, they still have the same land costs and different things. So it's important that we consider that and try to support them in this time. So yeah, that's basically largely the economic benefits that we can see when it comes to local goods and local food specifically. So Jacob, if you have anything to add or would like to talk about the social benefits.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that's kind of a good segue into talking about the social impacts of local food. So, you know, as Jason mentioned here, with the farms and the struggles they're going through right now with the closings of restaurants and some of their other primary buyers, you know, it really kind of hits home as to the role they're playing in our communities. And you know, we're a firm believer in this, and that's obviously one of the big reasons why we got into this space. You know, so local farms really are able to bring together communities through things like obvious examples such as the farmers market, where you have a number of people joining together, or at restaurants where they're supplying the food, but even more so through kind of just people getting to know where their food's coming from, getting to know their farmer. You know, we really value that, and that's something that we've strived to make really transparent with herbivores, is where their food's coming from, and you know, more information about the farms and the farmers themselves, so that there is this kind of sense of community around local food. You know, and in the Toledo area in particular, we're, you know, very fortunate to have a number of organizations that are kind of spreading this message, some of which are Toledo Grows. They are an urban agriculture and kind of community gardening organization that advocates for those activities and also provides resources and assistance to those interested in getting into those areas. We were fortunate enough a couple of months ago, prior to the stay-at-home order, we participated as a vendor at Toledo Grows Seed Swap. And this was an event that had hundreds, nearly 1,000 people attended to get free seeds and other gardening materials and resources and information, and really kind of showed the community aspects that local food has with all these people gathering around this shared interest. And it was really a great event, and we were happy to be there. And they do a lot of other activities like that. Another great example is the Black Swamp Conservancy that we have here in Northwest Ohio. They are committed to, kind of as their name suggests, preserving area and conserving areas of the Black Swamp, which is in Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. And they're doing that not just through land conservation of forests and wetlands, but also through agricultural lands. And one of their big focuses right now is helping people interested in becoming farmers secure land for agriculture, and make sure that they're doing it as a way that promotes local foods. And I have another area or organizations that really are able to promote local food well, that sometimes I think we maybe forget about, are the churches and places of worship in our community. They kind of offer the opportunity to come together with other people who have that same interest in both the faith community and also this interest in gardening, and participate with those members of your congregation, but also kind of being able to branch out to those who may not have the food, and offering up some of the food that's grown in these the gardens at these places of worship to those who are less fortunate. So a lot of opportunities there to connect with a few different communities that we're a part of. And I think we were saying, again, just getting to know our farmers who are growing and raising our food is just so, we believe it's so important. And like I mentioned, that's really why we want to put a big emphasis on it at Urbivors, about just really focusing on these farms and the farmers behind it. So it's a lot of work goes into the producing food, and it's something that obviously we value a lot. So a lot of ways that we can connect better with our community and create social benefit through local food. So hopefully through some of these activities we can inspire more people to get engaged in local food, and start their own garden, and hopefully order from Herbivores as well. But at this this point, I think I'll turn it over to Jason. He's gonna kind of lead us home with some of the health benefits of local food.
Yeah, absolutely. And Alec, we saw your question come in there. We'll address some questions and answers at the end, if you don't mind. So we see that. Just want to acknowledge that. Appreciate that. Yeah. So as Jacob mentioned, there's a lot of health benefits to local food as well. And generally, you see this growing trend of people caring a lot more about how their food is grown, what kind of practices the farms use. And the good thing about local foods, it's typically regarded as a higher quality food product, and it definitely is. It's not just regarded as such, but it definitely is, because the local farmers, they care a lot more about sustaining the land that they have. A lot of the land that these local farms have been passed down through generations, so they want to do their best to preserve their soils, grow high quality plants and products, and rotate their crops. So the benefit of that is you're not, a lot of these farmers use organic practices. They may be certified organic farming operations, or they reduce the amount of pesticides that are used. They're not really focused on all these pesticides and fertilizers that a lot of the corporate farms use to maximize, absolutely just top out the yields of their fields. They're caring more about the soil and preserving that field to last for generations and to be a good growing medium for years to come. So that leads to a higher quality product for us as the consumer to consume things that aren't grown with all these chemicals as part of their growing process. And And in addition to that, corporate farms that were at the grocery store, if they're shipping their produce in from thousands of miles away across the country, across the world in some cases, those produce products are picked before they're ripe so that they can ripen along that transportation and storage process between the farm in Chile until it gets to the grocery store. So, that means that there's less nutrients packed into those produce items. The taste is not quite as good, but in the case of the local farm, you're getting your food possibly one day after it was picked. So it's at its peak ripeness, it's ready for consumption, and it tastes better. It's packed with more nutrients, and it's just a general higher quality product than what you'd find on the shelves at the grocery store. And yeah, one of the things that we really noticed is the taste. A lot of people really loved, especially with our fruit. We got a lot of comments last year about just how absolutely amazing the peaches were that we were sourcing from a local orchard. And people were like, I've never tasted peaches this good before. And so that was something that really kind of showed its face, that the taste is really significantly better and people notice it. So if you like great tasting food, consider your local farmer, because it really does make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think to kind of address the question about a neat interaction we have with the local farm is actually the same farmer who supplied our peaches. We had the opportunity to visit that farm along with several other of our partner farms. We visited them and kind of gave us a tour of the farm, and one of the fun parts was just kind of going throughout the farm, and he was just picking stuff or pulling stuff up from the ground and letting us eat it on the way. And we got everything from cherry tomatoes to kohlrabi, and if you don't know what that is, it's definitely one I'd suggest looking up. It's pretty good, especially put some salt on it or just eat it raw. It's a pretty good one, but just kind of a really neat opportunity there to interact with the farmers and kind of get to see what they were doing on a first-hand basis. And again, just that only helps us kind of push their mission and what they're doing out to our customers and potential customers as well. But kind of to get back to what Jason was saying about minimizing that distance and transportation, because not only are you losing nutrients in the food, but it's also, when you have to travel that far, you have to make sure that the food has a long shelf life, and a lot of times that's going to mean a lot of packaging and refrigeration. If you've got food coming from the other side of the world and it has to be in a shipping container on a ship to cross the ocean, well, you have to have that refrigerated a lot of times. So another one of the benefits really with local food is just a reduced environmental impact. So that predominantly comes through transportation and packaging. So as Jason said, obviously with a shorter distance from the farm to your plate, we are going to be reducing the amount of emissions from that, but also the packaging. So much of our food, if you think about what you get at the grocery store, it's comes in a plastic bag or whatnot. And with local food, we're able to get rid of a lot of that packaging because we don't have to worry about the shelf life, because everything is coming in, especially what we do at Urbivors. We're getting it from the farm and delivering it that same day. So you don't need this kind of long shelf life for the food that you would get locally. And that's great because, then you can really save on a lot of that packaging. And, that's something that we've taken to heart as well with our service and our packaging. We try to minimize the use of plastic, and all of our orders come in recycled paper bags too. And I think, kind of a neat way to even think about it is basically we're saving on the packaging because with local food, our packaging is it's the peel on the apple or on the kohlrabi. So, basically there isn't packaging a lot of the time. So, but with that, I think we're gonna kind of turn it over here to just talk a little bit about what we do And then we'll open it up to any other questions that those here with us live may have, and also we'll answer some other write-in questions that we had from people who could not join us today.
So as Jacob mentioned early on, Urbivores, we're a local produce delivery company. So we make it easy for you to interact with this local food system that we have, and just make it more accessible. So we help the local farmers distribute their product direct to the consumer. So we have an online marketplace, www.urbivores.com, where anybody can place an order. They can place a single order. They can also subscribe monthly to get weekly deliveries of produce grown by local farmers in the Toledo area. And so we partner with a variety of those farmers. We process the orders that come in through our website and place the order with the farmers that we partner with and deliver those fruits and vegetables and herbs right to your doorstep. And it's also a good way, if you don't have time to visit the farmers market on Saturday mornings, or go out to the farms individually, we make it easy to bring the product to you, and you can still participate in the social aspects of getting to know your farmer, because we list where your food's coming from on our receipts. We kind of give a little bio of the different farms we partner with, so you get a little bit of a taste, even though you're not able to talk to them given the delivery option, but you still get to understand where it's coming from. And on top of all that, we have a lot of content on our website. We write blog posts and produce some video tutorials on how you can use that produce. So we have a couple of different recipes that we put out. We have different articles about the local food scene here in Toledo, and we have some YouTube videos that you can follow along and see how to make some pretty good meals out of some local produce. I know we got veggie lasagna, Brussels sprouts, oven roasted Brussels sprouts, a couple of different other things. So we try to bring the local food to you, but also help you interact with that local food community that Jacob was talking about. So that's a little bit about us. Jacob, do you have anything to add that you'd like to add on top of that?
Yeah, definitely. So I think that's a pretty good succinct summary of what we do, and just kind of really want to focus on going forward for us. Like Alex or Jason said, pardon me. Visit our website if you have any other questions or want to learn more. And we're also on social media. You can find us either at Urbivores on Twitter and Instagram, or just search Urbivores, Urbivors, on Facebook and LinkedIn, or on all those platforms. You can follow along. If you go to our website, you can sign up for our email list. We send out pretty regular emails with updates on what things are going on. And also, you can also reach out to us individually for direct emails or phone from our website. And kind of the last thing that we're asking people to do, especially those living in the Toledo area who are interested in participating in our service, is we have a customer interest form on our website. If you just go to our website, it's on the homepage. You can find it. There's also a tab at the top right of the site where you can find this interest form. We're asking people to fill that out to help us plan, so that once the stay-at-home order ends and the growing season really gets going here in June, we'll be able to kind of finalize all of the details with our suppliers and kind of confirm our logistics for this upcoming growing season, because there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes in working with our supplying farms to make sure that we have the right and enough produce and products for our customers. So we'd really appreciate if you are interested, if you would complete that. And then I think with that, we can open it up to any questions. So if you have any questions, if you just put them in the chat here. I think we already have some, and like I mentioned earlier, we had some others who were not able to join this morning, but who wrote in some questions as well. So we'll be answering those. But I think we'll start with Megan's question. So what can those of us who are not in Toledo do to support our local farms? So I think one of the big, and Jason, feel free to add in here after I kind of give my 2 cents, but I think one of the biggest things is obviously a service like Urbivores isn't available in a lot of places. So going to your farmer's market is definitely, I think, the most direct, impactful way to help them. But also CSAs, so that's community supported agriculture. What that is you can buy direct from the farm. So you'll basically this time of year, before they, or maybe a little bit earlier, before they get everything planted, you can sign up for a subscription that maybe you'll get like a week, every week you'll get some amount of food products from the farm, and basically you pay them up front so that it takes a lot of the risk out for the farmer, from having to wonder if it's a bad year and a lot of rain or whatever, then they might lose a lot of money because they don't have product. But for you, it's a good opportunity, because if it is a good year with really great growing conditions, then you get a lot more food than what you pay for. So it really works for everyone all around. So those are two great direct ways. But other ways are kind of like some of those organizations I was talking about earlier, between the Black Swamp Conservancy, Toledo Grows, some of the other ones. Those types of organizations like that exist pretty much all over. So I think finding groups like that in wherever you live, that's kind of a great way to approach it too, and getting involved with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have too much to add to that. You pretty much hit it right on the head, I'd say. Yeah, we can move on to the other question Megan had. She said, "What is the process to choose the farms that we work with?" So, as Jacob mentioned, we've been operating for a year, so we're hoping to grow the number of partner farms that we have. But what we did was we kind of leveraged some previous relationships that we had with local farmers, and made a few phone calls to find an ideal supplier who grew a variety of vegetables. And again, through that network, we found a couple of other farms who would be interested in supplying fruits and different things. So it's just kind of getting engaged in that local food community led us to some of the supplier relationships that we have. But obviously, as we grow, we'll be looking for, this is actually part of the customer interest form, is what our customers are looking for specifically. We will seek out the different farming practices. So try to identify farms that grow organic produce. That's been a common demand or want from customers. The farms we do have sort of or organic practices, but they're not certified organic. So a lot of people attach the quality label to the certification, and so we want to seek out and provide those things for the customers that will provide what they want. So we just regularly try to gauge the feedback of our customers and update our supplier where we get that food from, to meet those wants and demands. Anything to add to that?
No, I think that was a great synopsis, and like Jason said, that's basically the key to determining what farms we're working with is seeing what people are interested in, especially now in year 2 that we're established. That's really something that we're trying to gauge is, like you said, the growing practices, the types of food, all of that. We want to know that information, and that way we can make sure that we're securing partnerships with the right farms. So some other questions that we had people write in, and we've actually addressed a lot of these, but maybe like what foods are available, kind of like we were saying. It's really going to depend on what people are interested in, and then we'll partner with the right farms. So, last year we kind of worked with a variety of different farms, from fruit orchards to small kind of urban farms to larger vegetable farms to even there's a guy who grows specialty mushrooms that we've had discussions with before as well. So really whatever people are interested in, and that's what we're going to be targeting. And then also, I think there's kind of a question of where we deliver. As of right now, we're looking to last year, we did kind of in our first year, had a pretty select delivery area, but for year 2, we're looking to expand it beyond that to most of Toledo and potentially other areas as well. So if, like I said, if you're anywhere near the area, we strongly encourage you to fill out that interest form if you have any interest in herbivores. And then I think kind of like the final question that maybe we get asked pretty frequently, is about cost of our products, and it just depends, obviously, on what you're ordering. But I think based on some research we've done, I think we're pretty cost competitive with a lot of other any other kind of delivery service, but even sometimes the grocery stores as well. So I think unless there's anything else, that's pretty much all we have this morning. But Jason, I don't know, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to add on that delivery and where we deliver, how often. I just want to kind of note the frequency. So that's one of the other things we're looking for, is how frequently our customers would like to get their produce delivered to them. But last year we kind of adopted a twice per week. So we had about 3 days between deliveries. So that gave us time to place the order with the farmer, get the produce delivered, and then delivered to you. We deliver the produce the same day we get it, so you can be rest assured that it was picked just days before you got it, so, or even that same day. So I just want to kind of hit on that frequency. Right now we've been delivering twice per week, but that could go up or down based on what the customers are interested in how frequently they're looking to get their produce. So just want to add that in there.
Absolutely. So I think with that, thanks everybody who was able to join this morning, and for all of you watching recording of this, we hope you got some good information out of it. And like we said, if you have any questions, please reach out to us on our website or over social media. We'd be happy to answer any questions. You can leave a comment on our website, and maybe even your question's already been answered there too. So thank you all, and we hope you guys have a good rest of the weekend then.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining and for listening to what we had to say, and hopefully you guys get interested in taking part of your local food communities wherever you guys come from. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
And have a good, safe weekend.
You too.